Well, hello everybody. My name's Aaron Vanderkley and I directed what we're about to watch, which is Doctor Who Resistance. And joining me today is...
Hello, I am Stephen Platt. I played the role of the Doctor in Doctor Who Resistance.
Yes, and I'm Harriet Hunt and I played Polly. It was Polly, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, great. Awesome. That's
It's been 10 years.
I know.
10 whole
So
years.
long.
10 whole years. And we always planned to do a commentary and we never did it. And 10 years later,
It's
here we are.
nice that we're doing it though, and I think it's good that it's 10 years later because it feels like a kind of a new thing again to see.
Yeah, it is quite lovely to have time to reflect on it and come back and watch it because we a little bit behind baseball. We got to watch this version a couple of days ago to refresh us for this commentary. And when this scene came up, I went, I don't remember any of this. And I feel like maybe, has there been a little bit of additions?
So, this was actually part of the original story. It was in the original script.
Wait, that's not you, Stephen.
No, it's not me.
But because originally it was an audiobook, so it made sense in the telling of the story in the audiobook that we don't know that this character isn't the same character at the end. So when we originally did it, I was like, oh, well, it's a bit ambiguous. It probably adds another filming day that we didn't need at the time, so I cut it all out.
Okay.
We were going to do it as like a prequel, because at that time Doctor Who was doing like prequels before the stories on TV. So I wrote the script for that, but it just became logistically a bit tough.
Yeah, okay.
And I wasn't sure how to do different bits and pieces.
So when was this shot?
This was shot in March this year.
So is that Quorum?
No, that is... Oh my God, how embarrassing. How can I forget his name? Josh Furman.
Josh?
Yeah, Josh. I did some event work with Josh, and yeah, he's always like been keen to audition for something. So
That's so cool.
So you got him on board.
How strange was it for you as a director coming back to something 10 years on, going from 2013 Aaron making this big Doctor Who production to revisiting it as 2023 Aaron?
I think what was fun is that obviously in 10 years you'd learnt lots of things and how to do things, especially like the parachuting bit.
That looked fabulous, by the way.
I probably would have stuck somebody in a tree and hung them from the tree.
You would have.
Had we done it 10 years ago.
I mean...
But yeah, managed to pick up on different techniques, and this is probably what they would have done at the time. Have someone in front of a scrim pretending that they're in the sky or pretending them stuck in the tree, and we had little plants on boom stands to pretend he was in the tree.
Oh, that's so cool. So creative.
So yeah, and also like scheduling wise, this was maybe 5 pages and we shot over 2 days doing this bit, as opposed to what we did, which we shot a 50-minute film in 4 days.
Yeah.
Plus 5, plus 6.
Yeah. So
plus 5, plus 6.
were the trees, the stuff we're seeing right now, was this out where we shot?
Yeah.
Up the so Gidgegama?
Yeah, it sure was.
Oh, lovely.
So it's nice to go back during the day when it wasn't torrential rain.
Torrential rain. We'll come to that one later, I
Oh
guess.
yes, we will. But yeah, I just thought since we're doing a special edition, we would, I guess, plug the gap.
That's so cool.
And yeah.
So how do you feel being George Lucas now, that you're going back and adding these things?
I think I was always unsatisfied with it because originally, after we shot it, it was sort of a bit of a rush to do the screening, and the person that was doing the music dropped out, the person that was going to do the sound design pulled out, and so I had to do that, and I wasn't skilled in that. I guess another thing that I've learned over 10 years. So yeah, I always felt like I just wasn't happy with it, and then I was like, nah, don't be the George Lucas, don't go back, and then I did.
Hey, look, it's beautiful. It's beautifully done. I feel like now I'm like, let's reshoot the whole thing.
Tempting. But no, always, I feel like sometimes you just got to move forward, and this is definitely the definitive version. It's the end. We're not coming back.
At the end of the decade.
You might struggle to get Nicholas Coombe back, seeing as he's, in the Dora the Explorer movie and things like that.
Oh man, people are doing such cool things.
Yeah.
I feel like I've worked with, Nick, Dacre Montgomery was in a second year film I did.
Of course.
Of the Stranger Things.
Of the Stranger Things.
And Red not Spider-Man, what are they?
Power Rangers.
That's the one.
Yeah, it was an Elvis movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's cool.
And then just recently, the last Star Trek short film that I did one of the girls in that, she was on My Kitchen Rules.
Oh,
Really?
working with them all.
Couldn't pick them.
Yeah,
Yeah. That is awesome.
he's fallen asleep.
That's falling asleep.
Wake up.
The one thing
Oh
that
my
we did
gosh.
build for this shoot earlier in the year was a partial barn because we couldn't
you
go to
build-
the original
No
place,
way.
so we built a small barn. And
Guys
so
are amazing.
this shot here, played by Blake in the darkness, that was one wall of barn, and then we turned it into a corner to do Josh's part.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Who is Blake playing in this? Is it meant to be Corum's character, or is it meant to be a general
Just a general resistance fighter.
Okay. Because I thought that the keeping him in darkness, I wasn't quite sure when watching it.
So,
This is Corum's character, isn't it? Or the
No,
older
this is
version?
really Polly's.
Yeah, the real uncle.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But
here we go.
I did consider asking Corum to be the character, and that's why he was wearing the same costume, but
Right.
it wasn't supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here you
Oh,
are!
there
Oh my God!
she is. There's the real star, that wig. Let's be real.
Called Alicia.
Called Alicia, and I remember that the wig was called Alicia. I really respected that. And called her by her name.
She, by the end of the 6-day shoot,
She'd been through a lot.
She'd been through a lot.
She'd been through a lot. There you are,
Yep.
hello.
No wig on him.
She'd suffered a lot of rain. And gosh, what,
There's a lot-
10 years ago for sure.
There's a lot of sweepy hairstyles going on
Yes.
with the
Yeah, we
boys.
are.
Yes, it was that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the Doctor, he has to have something that at least looks a bit like that Beatlesy sort of haircut that Patrick had. But yeah, I was only watching it back where I went, oh yeah, hairstyles have changed a bit
They
because
really have.
yeah, the boys have got just this kind of
Sweeping.
sweepy, almost sort of like early One Direction-y
Yeah,
and
it's
kind of
Zac
hair.
Efron, yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, style has changed.
Those were the days.
I feel like when I watched this back and we were pushing the TARDIS, it reminded me of when we had to go back in. What's it called when you go and do the recording?
Oh, ADR.
The ADR, and just being in a studio with a microphone going, "Ugh!"
Well, that was another thing coming back to this, because at the time I edited it, I didn't have the original location sound, so we
Right.
ADR'd everything.
Yeah.
So in editing this now, I've gone back, I have the mostly clean location audio,
That's
so to get your original performance.
That's cool. And here comes the guards, who
The
are
guards.
All very
famous, very
talented.
successful actors now.
Yeah, most of
and
them.
theatre producers and people.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the rain. There is a shot coming up when I turn around on the gunshot that made me feel like this one. I felt like the biggest movie star in the world
yes.
when we filmed that.
It's a great shot.
I just edited a trailer this morning, and that is definitely a shot in the trailer.
There
It's
you
a very
go.
trailer shot.
But yes, the various members of the Marquee?
Milice.
The Milice,
In the
sorry.
Milice.
The Milice, yes. Most of them working either in creating amazing plays
Yeah.
or like working for a lot of the casting agencies around Perth in Australia now.
Fantastic.
It is amazing how talented this army patrol ended up proving to be.
The most talented French
Literally the
patrol.
squad.
Yes.
The squad. Oh my gosh, this is all rain. This is rain day filming.
This was the only full scene that we shot on what I like to call the day of death.
Because, oh man, it was cold.
I had a great time. I don't know what you're talking about. But then again,
Yeah, you had a jacket on.
yeah, I had the lovely outfit of the opportunity to have a jacket on. You were just in like a
The
thin black jumper.
The thinnest black top and like kind of black pants. And see, all of when we were filming and it was raining, I was fine. It was when we had to walk back across the open kind of field, and because I was wet, and then the wind came through, I got so cold.
You literally got hypothermia.
Then I did. Yeah, it got very achy the next day.
Lesson for you there, kids.
Yeah. But look at her go. We're all acting through the rain.
Yeah.
Alicia is suffering though.
She's suffering.
Yeah, no, it is a shocking amount of rain. I don't remember it being that bad, but then
It's like heavy.
yeah. I mean, I remember the deluges, but I didn't think we'd shot in many of them. And then you watch this and you go, oh no, we're just getting soaked.
I can't remember whether we shot this under a marquee or whether we just ducked out.
No, we weren't under a marquee because
Not for that bit.
there was marquees like covering the equipment.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that was going to break the equipment. But
If we're after favourite moments, this might be the most fun shot
yes.
from my perspective.
You
Just
nailed
a lot of running around, waving of hands. that feels the most Patrick Troughton-y.
It's really fun.
It's not quite jumping over the explosions. There's the Cybermen chasing after him, but it's pretty close. It was a lot of fun.
I feel like originally all I wanted was like one shot of this, but because you guys did so many takes of it, I was like, let's just make it a crazy sort of 60s
frolicking though.
Yeah.
I can remember us just having so much fun, and Stephen being, your amazing improviser, just being like, Harriet, try this, throw this, jump over here, and the hand over the mouth. It's just so funny.
I remember we needed a bush, so I just walked into the undergrowth, pulled out a bush and was like, here's the bush.
Here it is. The wig.
So I'm curious, Aaron, because obviously this is a Big Finish audio adventure originally. What was it about this specific script that you made you choose it to adapt, as opposed to maybe some of the other ones that were available?
So at the time I was listening to audio books when I went to bed, and I just felt like this one in particular, I could just visualize how I would do it. And because it was Doctor Who's 50th anniversary and I wanted to do something for it, I thought, I want to try and adapt this story. And I like the fact that, like, one of my favourite new series Doctor Who episodes is Father's Day, where Rose goes back to try and save her dad. And I just like that concept of, like, it's quite personal that you have the option to try and save your family, and you would of course want to, but it's like time is against you.
Yeah. And I think definitely for the companion in kind of the world of Doctor Who, the companion's always going to have that more human, I suppose, temptation to use the powers and the time travel that they have available to them for that personal gain. I think it would be unreasonable of us to think that a companion wouldn't try and maybe attempt something to help their loved ones or something like that.
Would you like a fun fact about Father's Day?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
We are now the same distance of time away from when they shot Father's Day as the events of Father's Day were from when they shot it. So it was set in 1987 and they shot it in 2005, or it was released in 2005, which is an 18-year gap. And we're 18 years on from 2005.
Jeepers.
There you go.
Sorry to upset everyone.
That is so upsetting. Oh, is this back from... This is not the Day of Death.
That shot is the Day of Death.
Really?
It was the close-up is from another day.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to say, I hate myself for this scene because of my bra strap that keeps popping out of my top, and I don't know why, but it just bothered me so much.
It's okay.
When I rewatched it. I was like, Polly, get yourself together.
It's okay. You can see my strap a lot as well. Mine's a lot more noticeable.
You improv that whole bit, and you did it twice.
We had so much fun when we were like, let's just do things.
Well, I mean, you gave us a lot of freedom. You basically said, we're going to film this sequence, and there's going to be the long shot and the close-ups. And you said, just, have fun, see what you can do. And
there it is.
Yeah, and they were not ripe. They were not ready, is the main thing I remember.
Because you went in for a proper bite.
I cut away from it.
I was like, let's do a little fake bite, and Stephen just went, and then your face was...
I was like, nope, that is not ready.
Oh my gosh, and we're about to see sweet Catherine.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that at least was a nice warm day when we shot that.
Yeah, that was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
That was such a fun day.
Yes.
I just love that you're just so disinterested, Stephen. In this. You're just
so disinterested.
Trying to get a tractor to work.
That's it. Yeah. The other thing that I find so funny when I watch this back is knowing that, because I'm not naturally blonde. I don't know if you can tell that that's not my red. But I bleached my eyebrows for this film. I bleached them blonde.
That's right.
So that they could not look like too dark with the wig, because obviously my natural eyebrows are super dark. And then once the makeup was then put on the blonde eyebrows, I feel like they look as dark in that as they probably would have done if I had just had my natural eyebrows.
I swear I saw a thing of the actor that plays Polly, and her eyebrows are dark.
Are dark, yeah.
So, yeah.
But, yeah, that was the commitment. Oh, here she comes.
With a vintage pitchfork, that was. Catherine did not like that it gave her splinters.
Yeah. And there's the little wrestling moment that's coming up that was like,
It feels authentically 60s Doctor Who. Just the little sting of the music coming in and the close-up shots and the moving around. It's a lot of fun.
It's so fun.
And your costume still survives to this day.
Yes, I've
fresh
noticed.
on the mannequin behind.
Yeah, it's not fitting on me anymore, I'm afraid. It turns out, it's...
10 years.
It's 10 years, 10 years has happened. And
that's okay.
Yeah, I'll need if we're shooting any reshoots, I will need some notice. So I can do some
for the 20th anniversary, maybe we'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
Well, I might actually be old enough to maybe more convincingly play some Dr. Patrick Troughton's role, because I was looking at this going, it's quite a bold choice to cast someone who's 23 to play a Doctor that's so well known for having such an expressive but quite mature face.
It's because you're so good.
Oh, shucks.
Such a good character actor, and I thought Patrick Troughton's a good character actor.
Absolutely.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a lot of fun to play, but looking at it, I'm going, gosh, they are very young, though, aren't they?
So, for preparing for this role, what did you do?
Well, it's interesting because obviously preparing for the audition was okay. This is the Doctor, so I need to go and refamiliarise myself with the Patrick Troughton episodes, because I'd seen bits of all the Doctors having grown up watching Doctor Who, but Troughton wasn't one that I was super familiar with, and so I went back and I watched them, and I just found I really liked his episodes. But once we had sort of locked in, the parts, and it was like, right, I'm playing the Doctor, I actually didn't watch any more Patrick Troughton, because I sort of felt like, well, I got it for what I'm doing now. I don't want to keep going and mimicking that. So in terms of preparation, it just became about trying to prepare those movements, because I knew that I couldn't replicate the face. I knew that I couldn't fully replicate the voice. So it was going to be more about replicating the sort of physical choices. There's a wonderful thing that I learned is that obviously, because Patrick Troughton's background came from being a stage actor, when you watch his episodes of Doctor Who, it's very rare that you see his back completely. He always tried to make sure at least some of his face was visible to the camera, because the training on stage obviously is you don't turn your back on the audience. And so where possible, I've attempted to do the same, and things like the little hand movements, and the.
Well, you did it so well.
Yeah, it was just trying to pick up on them, so people were like, "Oh, he moves like him at least."
I feel like watching it back objectively, I don't watch this thinking Stephen's playing Patrick Troughton. I think Stephen's playing Doctor Who.
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing, I think, with these fan films where you do have people playing, the 10th Doctor and the 4th Doctor and all these things. It's finding that difference between doing an impression of an actor. So like, it's a difference between doing a Tom Baker impression and playing that 4th Doctor character. There's a way of doing it wrong and there's a way of doing it right, but I don't know exactly what it is.
I suppose it's like finding the personality traits of that Doctor and then making that your own, rather than being like, as looking at them as an actor, being like, how can I copy that? It's how can I use that and find that personality.
We did just have the toll booth saying go past.
Oh yes, that was me.
It was Aaron.
That was
you.
With very modern hair.
Very modern hair.
Spiky hair.
But yes, no, we had a beautiful director Aaron there, but you come up again, so it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you again. But that toll booth was beautiful. Just a lovely recreation. Although it does make me think of Blazing Saddles.
It was incredible how you made all of those sets work. What a little dynamite.
I feel like this is probably the start of like the sort of set building journey that I've done, because of all the Star Trek films that I've done in the meantime, and other things we've built sets for it, and like at the start we built that sort of barn set, and just developing those skills and being able to do it. I just want to remind us of the time where I was driving a tractor around to where we were filming that scene, and you were like, wow, that was really attractive.
Because I have no filter, so that's the kind of thing that could get you kicked off a set these days. I just think I always think it's so impressive. Oh wait, hang on. This is the shot. Hang on, can we pause on that? Because Stephen and I were just talking about this before we started filming. The fact that in order to get this shot, Stephen was walking behind me with his arms wrapped
just
around me.
Like we were some sort of
We're in this little hug, kind of waddling along.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we just couldn't get it
Close enough.
Close enough, but yeah, that was our last resort.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think whenever I see anyone do anything, any kind of manual labour, I just...
You're just like, wow.
Something inside me is like, wow. Go you, get it. Oh,
This
is one of my favourite locations, I think. Is this the cellar?
Yeah, this was day 3, which at the time I thought this was our worst day of filming just because the condition wise, like it was dusty. Dark, it was dusty. We had to go up and down a ladder.
Yes, gosh, the ladder.
And there was a lot to do. There were long scenes as well.
Yeah. Although we jumped briefly to day 2 here.
Oh, here we go.
For my favourite character,
Jordan.
The tailor. Just the shiftiest looking person in this whole thing, and I just love his how much he does with such little time.
Yes.
And you're like, can we trust him? Oh, I don't know.
There's so many amazing people in this.
But just this little look here, just a little.
Yeah, when you watch it back, you definitely think, well, they're about to be murdered.
Yeah.
I actually really liked this set.
Yeah,
this
and it was set dressed really nicely.
Scott McArdle.
Yeah, little baby Scott McArdle.
Baby Scott.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They also did some improv in this bit.
Yes. And Andrew's about to pop up as well.
Oh yes,
isn't he?
He is.
Sure is, from behind the tarpaulin.
French accent, Andrew.
The box has explosives. I think they might have explosives. Yeah, this set was kind of amazing. Although I do remember there was a lot of dust.
Yes.
So dusty.
Because everyone was masked up. This is well before COVID.
Yeah.
But we were all masked up just because of the amount of dust that was present in the space. And it was such an interesting experience to be working in an environment that it wasn't unsafe, but it was like, oh, this actually feels quite authentically.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
I think it helped me with my acting though, because I was like, oh, this feels real. Let's go method.
I think another thing, this whole experience was like a massive learning curve because it was the first time I'd done like a big project, or what I considered to be a big project, and something like going for a location recce and thinking, okay, it's really dusty here. Everyone should wear masks. I mean, I don't think we actually told people to wear masks. They just happened to have them, and that's something that I would have learned. Just same with filming out at night.
That's it.
In the rain.
And then we got dressing gowns after D-Day.
Yes.
I have to just say I have a memory of filming that last shot, and just hearing your voice go, hold it there, 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 and cut.
What I really appreciate is that you did it. That's the right amount.
I remember it like, I don't know why, earworm lives for free in my brain. Gosh, and just look at all these amazing people. Oh, Rachel did the sound.
Yeah.
This was,
So
I think for
special.
me, this was third year uni, so I had like met people doing screen, I had met people doing theatre and drama, so.
And I think also, I mean, you provided such an amazing opportunity for people around you as students to upskill and learn so much about, like for me, what it's like to be an actor on set. But for other people who were, chasing acting careers, they got opportunities to be behind the scenes. And I think that was so special that you did that for everyone.
And now we're back for part 2.
Oh, it's this again.
Cool.
Just the same thing again.
It's the same. We're watching part 1 again.
Yeah,
I must
love that it's your face.
It's your face.
It is my face.
Looking good.
I don't think I've looked scarier than that picture.
Yeah, I don't think you could look scary, but that is a bit scary.
Yeah, I think
the eyes, the hollow eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's this light is very bright eyes, mostly.
So in the reprise here, I'm not sure whether you have noticed this before, but I've actually used different takes to make it appear like they did in the 60s, where they refilmed the reprise.
There's a bit of fluff in front of me. That's funny because when I watched it back, I was worried about my own ability to recollect, because I was watching it going, I feel like when we watched this at the
Premiere.
premiere, that's the one, I was like, this wasn't the film I saw.
Well, hopefully it's better.
It's fabulous. It's so good.
I mean, I did notice it with this bit because you do the pan across instead of the cut between the Doctor and Polly. In this one, you've got Polly's face, and then you do a little pan over to the Doctor going, what's going on? And then back so you can have that hold it shot.
Oh, yeah, you had to hold it twice.
You
for
are
this.
a genius. The fact that you pick up on that. See, that's the difference, everyone, between Stephen and I. Stephen understanding what is different, and me just going, that looks
Something's
not the same.
right.
I mean, I do have a film degree somewhere. Like, I don't get to use it very often.
There you go.
But yeah, it is nice to occasionally throw it out there.
I just had so much fun with you. The fact that we were in all the scenes together, and it just felt like, in terms of the acting, just like playtime all the time. It was so good. And you wrote the script so well that all the scenes just felt like a conversation. And so it wasn't a hard push to learn the lines because it felt so authentic, and each new line of dialogue was just a reaction, and it's just a conversation. So once we knew who those characters were, it just became about, let's go on this adventure, and yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah, it is interesting watching it back as well, simply because so much of what I do nowadays is in the improv world, a lot of improvised theatre. So I don't do a lot of line learning. And at one point, I think it was during the second part, I went, I had to learn all this, kind of like, I can't believe that my memory was good enough to do that. But it's just, but I think partly, the fact that it was so conversational, but had such lovely beats to it as well. That it was a good script.
Yeah, it was.
Great.
Cheers to Steve, who wrote it.
Yes,
Well
thank you,
done,
Steve
Steve.
Lyons.
On your Steve.
Yes, Andrew Koch is there, who is probably the person that has changed the least in terms of how he looks.
Yes, I actually had Andrew play this character again for a Star Trek film.
Oh, yeah?
He didn't have any lines.
The same French guy?
Yeah. It had the same costume and
Wow.
everything. Dusted it off.
That is
I just
fab.
wanted to draw attention to, there's a shot where Corin puts his hat on, and that was because we had shot this backwards. So the later part, he had his hat on. So we had to find a way for him to put his hat back on, and he just puts it on in the middle of it.
Continuity. It's worth it for the continuity.
And the continuity, Anna did that.
Oh, there you go. What a good girl.
Continuity.
The wig is looking a little bit less rained on here. We're a bit softer and silkier.
Well, it's weird because
Hadn't suffered the trauma yet.
it's weird because we did essentially shoot this backwards.
Yeah.
In terms of like, we still haven't even got to day one of shooting yet,
No.
which is remarkable. Oh, man, Scott blocking me. That's the start of a 10-year friendship right there. Just no, Stephen, don't do that.
Speaking of friendship, I feel like this was the sort of start of like, we had like a group of friends that came from this. I feel like, Stephen, we'd known each other the year before briefly.
Yeah. Well, the thing that we sort of all connected on was a couple of plays that happened a couple of months before we shot this, which was the Charlie in the Mirror with you two and Sam Knox. Which was before the production of Ruby Moon, which I was in.
Yeah.
So we had a run of like a couple of weeks where Aaron and Harriet were two parts of a trio that were in this 10-15 minute play. I think it was called Charlie.
Yeah, it was called Charlie.
And it was almost like a teaser pre-film, thematically.
Like a Pixar short.
Yeah, Pixar short, but in a theatre. It was a really great production. And then the audience would be moved through for the production of Ruby Moon, which is quite a long and dark play with just two actors in it.
With your now wife.
With my now wife, yes.
Awesome.
But yes, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we sort of met and bonded doing that process, and then that led to this film where we're all hanging out and creating
I feel like I pestered you guys for 2 weeks with me just being in the side room.
You're fine.
You and Ellen preparing for a really intense, harrowing duologue play, and me just being like, "Hi, I'm going to kiss Sam."
We didn't know each other, I feel like, before that play. We'd known of each other, but we'd never interacted. And then you were told not to talk to me in that play for the character.
Yes.
And so I just thought you didn't like me, and then we came to this.
And I was like, "Hi, I want to be your friend."
It's amazing you cast her.
I know. Wow. You cast me even though you thought I was an absolute mole.
Can I just say, I love this bit where your head goes into this box and someone's propping up that box so you didn't put it away.
Although I did like...
An absolute diva.
How was this shot?
This was shot in a void. And so that's actually Aaron, and someone else is playing Polly.
I was going to say, that is not me.
That is not you. But yeah, we had all the costumes still, and so we just wanted to add... Originally, in the original version, it was just a black screen with Braden's voiceover. So I was like, oh, needs a little something.
That's so cool.
We reshot it, cleverly disguising the faces.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, it looked great because it came up and I went, hang on a minute, that wasn't in the original.
Well, it goes to show, it's a reflection of my self-confidence because I was like, I don't think that's me.
The one thing I hate about this scene is that I shot a wide, I shot a mid of Stephen and Andrew, and then I didn't shoot the other side. And Zenon, who was the first AD, was like, Aaron, are you sure you don't want another shot? And I was like, no, I'll just punch in on the wide. Mistake.
There you go.
There's no punching in happening.
No. I think that this might have been the last thing that we shot, and we had to just get out of it.
I think you were done, and you were done with the dust that day.
Yeah. You were like, I would quite like to breathe now. Let's go.
It did get I think by this point in the day, I do remember it being very hot down there as well. It got very kind of muggy.
And there was another bit when Catherine comes down the stairs, there's a close-up of her crying, and that Zenon filmed. Because he was like, you're going to need this. And I was like, I won't need it. Sure enough, I need it.
The dust had gone to your head. You were like, you had some kind of little bug crawling in your brain. You were like,
Get me out of here. It was a long day. And I feel like...
Big day.
They were all like...
Huge
10-hour plus days, which now we wouldn't do at all.
I'd do it for the little sandwiches that Gina made. Honestly, that bread was... I still think about that bread sometimes.
I can remember.
The knotted roll.
I can remember every meal I had
on this
on this
the lasagna.
shoot.
Lasagna day 2.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Honestly,
the catering was so good.
It was.
And as you know, we've been fortunate enough to be in a number of professional filmed productions since then for organisations like the ABC and professional film shoot stuff. No, none of them have had a sandwich as satisfying.
No way near as good.
Yeah, so I think of that every time I have a disappointing sandwich. If I'm in a commercial, I'm like,
never be as good.
This wouldn't fly.
I'll let her know.
If Gina was here, this wouldn't fly.
This scene here is my favourite scene because originally it was shorter, and I think the night before gave you sides.
I remember that
to redo, and Stephen, you had a particularly large bit to learn.
I do remember that actually reading it and being like, well, I'm okay.
But my favourite part is that, like the great Patrick Troughton, you didn't perform it exactly, but you got the gist of it.
Yeah.
And regurgitated it in a way that made sense.
Yeah, it is a tricky one when it sort of depends on the production as well. And I think because it was such a short turnaround, you were very realistic as a director going, if it's not word perfect, it's fine, because it is about getting that emotionality across. And that was really lovely from a performance perspective to be able to go, well, this is the meaning. And once we were in the space, it sort of did shape what those words needed to be, because it's obviously very dark here, but it was very dark. Like, it's a very dark place to be in. It was quite almost cramped and claustrophobic in a lot of senses. So it was almost about trying to create that sort of safe space with the words. And it was just it was a great addition. It was a great change. Even if it was just going, how am I going to learn all these words this quickly? But yeah, no, it was a lovely scene.
And that's when you decided to pursue improv.
Yeah, honestly. It's several years of doing scripts. As soon as I was like, what, we don't need scripts? Great, here we go.
But I suppose for this day, I mean, both of you are in every scene.
Yeah.
And you had extra stuff to learn.
I think there's one scene with Catherine and... Is it Catherine and Coram? There's just two of them in the house.
But that wasn't shot this day.
No, shot this day, no, true.
Yeah, no, this day was just, all right, here we are.
Oh, poor Catherine.
Poor Catherine.
Good crying, though.
And Leah, who did my makeup, did. See, there's one scene where my eyelashes are different. And it hasn't happened yet, but I wonder if anyone will pick up on, or you might remember.
I think I remember day one, as with most day ones. It's a bit of a rush at the start.
Yeah.
You're trying to find your feet. How
here we
look.
go.
Yeah, this is
Day
day one.
one.
Shot one.
What an amazing... This made me realise, because, the eyelashes.
It's a very severe
yeah,
look, but we toned it down.
It's a part of your disguise.
Yeah,
You're disguising yourself so no one recognises you.
But I remember like being so excited to have been cast.
It's
and
me. Oh.
Yeah, look at you go.
And Nicola.
Fresh banana.
And Nicola. Fresh banana.
Fresh banana.
Fresh banana.
Fresh banana.
Bless him.
But it was very exciting being...
I look like I'm about to take off with those lashes. It's like, who needs a train when you can fly? See ya.
It was a very exciting, obviously because it's the first day, but also like this is a historical like train museum.
Yeah.
And
That's
so it was
cool that we could use the location.
very easy to act like we're in the 1940s.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think this is when we rocked up on this day and I realised where we were and what we were doing. I suddenly was like, oh, this is a big deal.
This is serious. I wish for this we had more people on the platform. I wish I could afford to hire real guns.
Guns look great.
Bless my dad for quickly making those.
This is I'm trying to act in these scenes.
Well, there's a lot going on.
And it's tough that this is the end. The big emotional moment is day one.
And it was day one.
Where do you come from? I mean, of all the things we shot, this was my favourite scene because it was
all
just
the things coming out of your pockets.
Because it was just.
I thought about getting all those things and putting them on the table today.
I remember as well having to hold like a plie standing there behind him so that my hat was at the right height. And my legs just getting shakier and shakier.
I was very proud of the fact that it said second there and he was the second doctor.
Oh, that's clever.
I mean, I love that I got the 3D glasses. That's right at the end.
You paused on it.
Yeah,
So
that was a lot of fun.
And this again, another one that made me feel a bit like a movie star. It's anytime I got to run,
Yeah.
I was like, here we go.
In this shot, terrible hair.
Alicia is struggling here, people.
I was so glad that there was somewhere to cut, so then we cut to another shot where your hair is much nicer.
She'd been brushed and sprayed.
And I also, just watching this back the other day, very pleasantly surprised by how good this motion looks.
Yeah, because that was on a dolly.
Yeah, because this is all the camera moving.
I didn't go anywhere. I was right there the whole time.
And I feel like the smoke also really sells it.
Oh,
as well.
absolutely.
Yeah, Selena under the train with all the stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
what a trooper.
She was there for days.
What
This is
what is
amazing,
this?
This is some lovely Adobe stock footage.
Right,
Fabulous.
okay.
I thought it just needed a little bit of motion.
Because I thought you'd built a model train and just
Yes.
done this
full,
train
full
shot.
Hogwarts and built. Oh, here we go. This is the thing, because I feel like from memory, because this was my audition scene.
Yeah, because Stephen, yours wasn't from this story.
No, it was.
Yours was.
Yeah, this
it was
mine.
It was Patrick talking to Victoria about the. I can remember my family.
Yeah.
You know, they're not really gone, kind of thing, which is a beautiful speech.
Oh.
But yeah, how was it then for you, Harriet? Going like, oh, I did this in the audition. Now I'm doing it for real on the set.
Yeah, I mean, that was, like you said before, because we were on the actual train, this amazing vintage historical train, and I'm there with, you know, everyone kind of in the costume and everything. I think it came easier when we were then acting in the location. But I just remember in the audition, you asking me what my interpretation was of the scene, and when I said like, oh, she's realizing that this man is pretending to be her uncle, she's realizing that he's
That's right, because people didn't get that.
And the look on your face, which I now know was you being like, yes, good, she understands. I thought I was wrong, and I left the room thinking, I'm a fool, I'm a sweet fool. No, I didn't get it right. But
you were the only person that got what was going on.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like, and the reason why you were cast as well was not just because of that, was because the way you played it, all the other girls that were coming in were playing it like a modern, sassy, and it wasn't right.
Had to have a bit of the ingenues about it.
She was a classical girl.
Classical. I mean, look, no one can wear that wig and that coat and have sass. No one.
Yeah, you have to be humble in that outfit.
Yeah, no, but it was really fun.
So going back to what we were talking about with Stephen, what did you do for your like research or preparation for this role?
I'm more because I'm very much a modern Doctor Who fan of like the Eccleston, the Tennant eras, and so I really didn't know very much at all about this side of or era of Doctor Who. But again, I didn't want to do a kind of copy and paste. So I just kind of watched a few clips on YouTube of vintage Doctor Who, not even particularly focusing on the Patrick #2 era, but just all the vintage stuff, and looking at particularly the way that the female companions were played. And it is a little bit like, help me, I'm a woman, and you know, and just embracing that and being like, this is who she is, and she's still a clever and bright young woman, but she's also a product of her time, and this is how she would act and behave, and embracing that for what it was. So yeah, I suppose that was it. But also I think I took a lot of inspiration from just being in the locations and being opposite you, Stephen, and learning from you, picking up on what you were offering me with your performance and being like, okay, we're doing this now. Now we're throwing stones in the woods. Yeah.
And I suppose like with what you were saying before about these being an experience with people that, not only screen people, but theatre people that have never worked in those environments, being in an actual location as opposed to being on
I'd
stage
never done
or in a
film
set.
before.
Yeah.
This was my first ever film acting experience, and I learned a lot, and it was just so much fun. This was, and just things like this, like having actually someone grabbing me and putting
And
a
that was a
fake
real
knife
knife.
up. It was a real
That was a real knife.
Oh, I thought it was fake.
We had a stunt one that was for Far Away, but there was one that was...
Yeah, well there you go, and I mean that helped.
Can I just say, this shot,
It was one take.
We were running out of time, and I was like, this is going to be a one-er. You need to do this, and you did it.
I do remember. Did you lean in through the window and tell us
Yeah.
that? Yeah, because I remember you then leaving the window, and Catherine and I, because beautiful Catherine let me stay with her at her house while we were filming this, so I was more close to the locations, and we just sort of sat there in silence for a beat, and then we were just like, okay, let's go. Don't mess it up.
What did they do with the body? Just under the seats? Was that the...
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe out the back of the train, just...
Because there's a line that you say, I'll get the others, but really there's only one other person.
True.
But on the day we thought there were going to be more people, so that was the one that we didn't catch. That's supposed to be your actual...
He was a lot taller than you.
Polly is actually Polly
huge.
Pocket from the franchise of Tiny Toys.
I really liked this.
Yeah, that shot is... Yeah, just crying.
And I was reading it I was on the other side of the door reading it, I think, and you were,
Cry acting. Go, Harriet, go. But I do, like the narcissist in me loves that shot of me crouched there in that train. It feels very bougie. It feels like would have definitely been...
A Dior ad.
I was going to say a social media display pic. I'd have been like, look at me, I'm different.
He's another one of those big Perth influency people, Tom Dimmick.
This was another one-er shot. We were running out of time. I think we probably did about 4 takes of this because a one-er on a pretend gimbal is very hard, but
I remember you getting really mad at Catherine and I because I think, again, we were running out of time and we started skipping.
I think it's this shot. It cuts early.
Because we thought we had walked.
Yeah.
We thought we had walked to the point where it didn't matter anymore. And because we were just kind of being a bit silly, we linked arms and suddenly started skipping along the platform.
It's this one, Which sucked because it was such a good one.
Like, Harriet. Again, a pest.
And this was day 4, I think. No, this was day 5.
Yeah, it was one of the reshoot days.
Yeah. Of which we could only do the end. We were supposed to do the end and the start, but we could only do the end.
Some excellent hiding coming up here from Jamie and the Doctor. Couldn't see them there. Pick the 2 thinnest trees.
I tried to modify this slightly in the edit so it was less, but
Look,
it was raining.
Yeah, the Doctor and Jamie are not like the smartest partnership. They bring a really silly element out of each other.
I feel like the one shame about the fact that this story was so heavily focused on just Polly and the Doctor is that we kind of didn't really get to
see much of Jamie.
Jamie and Ben as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they did it well though.
Yeah,
they did a great job.
Yeah, I think that Nicholas
really
is going
lovely.
places.
And really lovely guys.
Yeah,
It was really fun.
yeah. No, it was a really nice group. It was just a really nice cast and crew, which again is not always the experience that you get. It was really lovely that everyone was just in such a good mood, even with like a night of storms. Like,
I feel like that's the thing though, because we've faced adversity together, we were stronger.
And I think it was nice too, because kind of each day of shooting, there was a different collection and group of people, especially like obviously within the acting, because different characters were required, and it became a point where we would be like, yay, hello, you're here, oh my gosh, hello. You know, everyone, no matter what part they had, it was just all one big team, including everyone in the crew as well. It became
And then this is one of my favourite shots where we figure out, we turn the key and down goes the TARDIS, but then it looks like the gravity shifts as they climb in. Where it looks like, now they're walking, they're not falling.
So
just
clever.
Like that,
I do remember arriving to set, realising that that's what we had to do, and being like, I'm not athletic enough to spin that.
I was just worried about the trousers surviving. But they'd survived the running through the forest, so I was like, probably okay.
That's it.
Just worried about trying to step in and a big old rip just happening. And he's like, oh no.
Well, for me, it would have been the hair would have been giving it away.
Yeah. This was another monologue, Stephen. Just pour pages and pages.
Yeah, he's the Doctor. That's what he does. You know. Aww. Thank goodness it's not a Peter Capaldi one. We'd still be there.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah. But
some say he's still in Digiganup.
Yeah. But no, there were really well worked scripts, and that was one of the things that attracted me, aside from the fact that I really liked Doctor Who and it was an opportunity to play the Doctor. And it's still my favourite credit on IMDb.
I know. The fact I have an IMDb is such a thrill.
Yeah, but to be able to go, it just says the Doctor, and I'm like, I don't need to do anything else. I played the Doctor according to this, it's fine.
There you go.
Here you go, Harriet.
There you go. Oh, look at her athletic. I think I had a little stepping stool up there, and then
No, it was literally the base of it.
Oh, the base.
We used that as steps. Yeah.
I do also remember waiting for a take, and there being the most horrendous bug on my coat, and just the terror, the sheer terror.
That's the end.
No! Play it again. Let's keep talking. So fun.
So how did that feel watching that again?
Oh, just lovely. What a lovely memory, and how cool that we all got to do that together.
Yeah.
And that we're still connected after 10 years.
Yeah, it was really lovely. And just, again, it's this time of the decade, the year with the 3 in it, everyone is like, oh, Doctor Who and anniversaries and thinking of things like that. But it's just nice to have like a shared connection with a property that does bring so many people together in different ways. And the fact that fan films like this exist and can be a lot of fun to get together and watch and just see a community and see what they create is really great. And yeah, it was lovely just to come back and have a chat with you all.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And lovely to see you both. Thank you.
So lovely to see you.
Farewell, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.